Hi guys, Anel Tunes, the African Mixmaster, back in another tutorial. And in this series of videos, we've been looking at quite a number of things. First, we began with looking at the compressor and what compression does. Look for that video in this playlist. Then we looked at the channel EQ. Remember, we are dealing with working with plugins that strictly come with Logic stock plugins, nothing from the outside. And we looked at EQ, and it was specifically corrective EQ. We looked at how to find the bad frequencies. And then we came up with recently the Bit Crusher, which is a distortion plugin. I know very many of you were surprised that I use a Bit Crusher on my vocals. And we looked at what it does. Please look for that video or those videos in the same playlist on this channel. And today we are looking at the de-esser. And what does the de-esser do? What is a de-esser? Let's first listen without the de-esser, just a few bars of this recording.
Okuva mu kibi kabaka kyono emunyenye gwezisinza.
Now, the de-esser is a compressor, but a compressor that is limited to compressing only sibilances. What do I mean by sibilances? I mean the T's, the S's, and the cheese. What do I mean by those? I mean the vowels or the words where the articulation has an S on it. For example, T, C, chi, cha. That's why you see we have most of the common parameters that are found on a compressor. For example, we have a threshold. For those who don't know what a threshold is, please feel free to go to my channel or even on this particular platform. Look for that video where I talked about compressing vocals. I explained threshold in 1 minute. Very simple explanation. Threshold determines the place or the point or the ceiling at which the compressor begins reacting. For this particular case, it determines when the de-esser begins reacting, meaning that if I set my threshold at -8, as you see it here, -18.8, that simply means that the S's, remember we're dealing with S's here, this is a de-esser, the S's that cross -18, that go above this level here, are brought down, are reduced. By how much? That is determined by the max reduction here, this knob right here. So which means if an S crosses -18, goes above, it is brought down by 5 dB. Okay? And then we also have the frequency. The frequency tells us, determines which part of the S's, which frequency spectrum, which band of the S's is to be brought down. Because we are different people, keys, different voices place these S's on different parts on the frequency spectrum. Yeah? So this frequency helps us locate that particular part where those S's are, and then we bring them down. Remember, the goal of a de-esser is not to remove S's, because your recordings will sound awful without the S's. The goal of the de-esser is to control the S's. It helps us curb them. It helps us tame them so that they're not very irritating to our ears. And you also have to know that our ears naturally perceive high frequencies faster and quicker than lower frequencies. For example, if you are to hear the real lows of this vocal, the mid-low part of this voice here, you'll have to boost the volume. But to hear the S's, you don't have to boost the volume. You can even reduce the volume to, say, -1, and you still hear the S's coming out, because our ears perceive the high frequencies more than they do the low frequencies. I don't know if I sounded so mathematical, or I'm sounding so mathematical in this tutorial, which I don't want. I love making it very simple for any person to understand. So let us try to do the S's here. And this is the default part, the default preset. I want you to listen to the S's. We can also try to sweep through and here, let me overdo it here. Let me do a bigger threshold and too much reduction. So we hear what it really does. So I'm going to be sweeping through the frequencies here, the high frequencies. So we hear, and you'll hear the S's being eaten out and the vocal will be becoming more dull.
alesene bitibwa mukulu azandokole okuva mu kibi.
So you hear now, the vocal has totally lost all the highs. The S's have really come out. And it's not pleasing to the ears whatsoever. So for this particular vocal, I feel the S's mainly reside around 7K, rather 7 cycles here at 7,000 Hz. And if I am to really term them, I think I'll leave it at around there. And also I want you to notice something here. We have what we call the filter. The filter gives you two options of gain reduction. We have the bell curve, we have the shelf. Now the bell curve scoops out the S's in that particular frequency area, but the shelf cuts out every frequency beyond that frequency point. And this is a teaching that is mainly explained when dealing with EQ. Please look for where I dealt with EQ on vocals on this playlist, in this playlist or on this channel, and you'll learn more about it. So, but for this particular scenario here, I'm going to deal with the bell curve. And I've selected around, I feel around 7K, but I'll try to reduce the threshold. I don't want it to lose all the S's. I just want to control my S's. And then the gain reduction, I'll just reduce those ones that go above the threshold, -8, by say 4 dB. Why? Because this vocal doesn't have a lot of S's, because even if I turned off the de-esser, in fact, I can even go without a de-esser on these vocals. So I'm just using it as a protective measure. So you never know how it may sound out there. So I try to play it safe or to play defense by using a de-esser. But sometimes you may find some songs whereby you have to do a gain reduction and a deeper threshold to get the S's really, really controlled. So I'll leave it at 9, and then I adjust accordingly as I listen.
Alesene bitibwa mukulu azandokole okuva mu kibi. Kabaka kyono emunyenye gwezisinza. I will bow to the Son of the Lamb. With my voice I will pray.
I want you to pay attention to something here. When you look at this meter here, every time you see yellow above this threshold, that simply means that that signal has gone above the threshold, and it's the signal that is being brought down. Okay? By how much? It's brought down by 3 dB. That's why you see the yellow only appears when the S's and the T's are pronounced. That's the only time the yellow will appear. That simply means that the compressor or the de-esser is reacting to those particular frequencies and it's bringing them down. Let's have a look.
Alesene bitibwa mukulu azandokole okuva mu kibi.
And also you notice that when the yellow comes up, then the gain reduction pushes down, meaning that the gain reduction is reducing the signal that has gone above this threshold. So basically, that's what a de-esser does. Please don't cram. Understand. Feel free to watch this video again and again until you get this concept in your mind. That means that you will be able to work with a de-esser, any kind of de-esser on any recording. Yeah. So I feel right there I've controlled my vocals well, my S's.
Alesene bitibwa mukulu azandokole.
And yes, you may feel like the the brightness and the shiny part of the vocal has been lost. But I do it that way just to control them. But after this de-esser, I'll still bring up another EQ to bring back those S's. But this time, the S's that I'll bring back will be more controlled and more smoother. They won't be as harsh. So don't worry about what you hear, what we've lost here. This is just a small part on this particular chain. Thank you for watching this video. I didn't want to make it so long, but somehow the explanation gets a little bit longer. Please don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, click the link in the description, go to my website, sign up for that free course named Secrets to Mixing with Reverb on African Lead Vocals, and learn about reverb on vocals. So see you in my next tutorial. Bye-bye.